All right, hello and welcome everyone back to another edition of the Virginia Tech Softball Podcast with the one and only Pete Demore. I'm Robert Bateman, and joining me per usual is two-time ACC Coach of the Year, Greater Washington Fast Pitch Softball Hall of Famer, rumored scratch golfer, and well-known 80s enthusiast, the one and only Pete Demore. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, but let's just not say I'm a scratch. I'm not even close.
Yeah.
I did. I got a simulator from my basement, and I shot one under last night. So that tells you that the simulator is not as accurate as it needs to be.
I got to be honest, if I ever shot one under, I would just claim I'm a minus one, scratch golfer for the rest of my life.
Sure, sure.
Well, all right. So just about 2 weeks away from your first invitational down in South Carolina. And I was curious if you could paint the picture for what the past 2 weeks have looked like for you and the players.
We came back January 9th. Typically, we come back a week to 10 days prior to school starting. So the players started. We have a fitness test when they come back, just a basic. Did you do anything over break? And they all did a good job with that. And went right into practice. And fortunately, we had 3 or 4 days outside during that first week.
Mhm.
And in that first week, we're not bound by hour restrictions by the NCAA. So right now, we can only go 20 hours a week because school has started. That first week, though, we don't have any of those restrictions. So the girls might think we go for like 10 hours, and we don't. It's softball, and that's about it. And do a couple two-a-days, or we had one practice that was fairly long. But I reminded the players that just get through it because we might not be outside in 2 weeks. And sure enough, I look like Nostradamus, and we're not going to be outside again before our first game. So we've been able to have some good work outside. Now we're inside, and it becomes more of a maintenance thing at this point of the season. When we're inside, it gets monotonous. We have an awesome indoor facility, one of the best in the country. But when you're inside, it's not like being outside. And so, can we make it fresh? Can we make practice fresh? Still get our work in. Be cognizant of their legs because our turf can put a beating on their legs a little bit. So we're going to practice today. Had a good couple days of practice the last 2 days, and just business as usual.
So you touched on it slightly. I'm curious, how hard is it to prepare for these non-con early season tournaments, especially seeing that you play so many teams in such a short period of time while you're still trying to learn your squad too?
Well, our assistants do a great job. They've been working on scouting reports for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. So we're gonna have an idea of what returning pitchers and lineups can do and what their plays they run and all that kind of stuff. So I think we'll be prepared for those. As far as preparing for those teams as our team, we just try to get better every day. We don't say, well, we're going to play this team, so we got to do this. No, let's just keep getting better and worry about ourselves. So, like I said, the assistants doing an awesome job, and we'll be prepared.
Well, it's no secret the softball team year after year is one of the closest bonds of any team on campus. So I was curious, what do you do early in the season to construct your culture at Virginia Tech? And do you have any like go-to team bonding activities?
Good question. Not really. We're really we set expectations during the recruiting process. This is the way our team runs. We're accountable. We work hard. We want to win. We take care of our teammates, and so players know that coming in. And so I get asked a lot about the culture question. We don't really have any pillars or things that we try to instill in our players every day. It's something that you model and you live it. So you come into our indoor facility. There's not a poster that says anything flashy, or we just live it. So go out and do your job, take care of your teammates, have fun, and do it again tomorrow. As far as setting that up, we do a couple things. Early in the season, in the fall, we will pair an incoming player with a returner, and they go practice with each other for half hour or so every day, and get to know their teammates, and realize that the newcomers, hey, you're part of our program, and there's no seniority or favoritism. It's just everybody's trying to win. So get on board and let's get through it.
Have you seen any players, have funny stories come out of those pairings, or like has anyone really taken a certain freshman under their wing?
No, I think the most impressive thing is returners, whether you're senior or a sophomore, they know you need everybody on board to win. And so the returners have really done a good job of just embracing everybody that's new to our program. And so I don't know about funny stories. There's stuff all the time that goes on in our building, but I don't know if I can repeat them.
Well, all right. So there's seven more tubular freshmen on the roster this year. How have they grown in the few months you've been with them?
Well, I think there's a learning curve with any freshman or newcomer that comes into our program or any program in general. What's the expectations? How do we act? And what's practice like? How do we go to class? So there was a an apprehension within that group to start, but it didn't last very long. And so you go in the weight room and you don't know what's going on. You watch everybody else the returning players, and oh, that's what I need to do. So you just, I think the great analogy is what our athletic director says all the time is when you're new, think of it as you're pulling on to 81 and you're going on to Route 81. There's traffic everywhere and everybody's going 100 miles an hour. Well, floor it, get in line, and figure it out. And that's kind of what we've seen so far. And I would say since mid October, everybody's going the same way.
Well, all right. Speaking of everyone, how about Michelle Chatfield, Jordan Lynch, Kylie Aldridge, Ani Rose, Zoe Yeager? I mean, Coach, we could go on for days just naming stars that are returning to your roster. And with the NIL and the transfer portal, I feel like it's so rare you see teams stay consistent. So I'm just curious, how important has it been for you year after year to focus on a returning core group of players?
It's a big deal. And I've said this for a long time that when players stick in our program, they're gonna improve on and off the field. And so um, you look at some of our returners and you go from sophomores to seniors, and they've all improved. They've all improved. So yeah, it's important for me to bring kids in that we think can have the ability to play here and see them and put the time in to make them better. And hopefully they want to stick around. And so yeah, I'm thankful that the core has stuck it out, and they've gotten tremendously better.
Well, you also got a couple of big gets out of the portal, and I'm just curious, how has the preseason been for Addie Foster, Haley Luganbill, and Bree Warren so far?
Great. I don't think there's been any hiccups so far as what's expected, and they've gotten on board just like the rest of the freshmen. So of course we probably do things different than when what they were used to. But once they see that, this practice is pretty fun, it's hard, but we're getting better, and let's just stick with it.
Well, speaking of fun things, one of my favorite things to follow on your Twitter is the Smash board, and it's been quite the update to watch so far this season. How competitive do the players get amongst themselves with it? And do you think there's any chance we see someone hit a ball further than Abramovich's 290-foot bomb this first practice?
That ball was hammered. But yeah, we ended up getting TrackMan on our field this fall. Came about 2 days before practice ended, so we didn't use it a lot this fall. But the thing that I've seen and I've noticed is when you put those numbers on the board, and you really, as a coach and coaching staff, um, you stress the importance of certain things. And so for us, it's hit the ball hard, hit
Mhm.
the ball hard. I don't care really where it goes. And so we have certain uh, thresholds that we want to hit. And if you hit those in a practice game or batting practice or whatever, you get to hit again. And so I've really seen the intent go up, and that's another thing is when you hit a ball hard and maybe you don't hit it in the air, or it's an out. Let's say you hit a ball 75 miles an hour on the ground to the shortstop and then make a play and they get you out. Well, man, you smoked it. Do it again, because most of the time those 75-mile-an-hour balls are going to get through. So that's the thing with hitting is you can't control what happens with the defense. You can control getting a good pitch and being on time and hitting it hard. So we've seen a lot of intent of just hitting balls hard. And if this is a pitch that you can't hit it hard, we take it. So it's been a great tool for us so far.
So I've always been a little bit of a nerd about just sports science in general. When you were talking about the thresholds, what exactly do you mean by that, and what numbers are you looking for?
Uh it's player dependent. And so if you see balls hit over 80 miles an hour, that's smoking it. That's really hitting balls hard. I think if you can stay around 70, that's that's got a chance to get through. So that's kind of what we're looking for is over 70, percentages over 70, percentages over 80. And what's your exit or your average exit velocity? How hard you hit balls. And so we don't really get into the whole launch angle thing. I'm not terribly. I don't think it's important. Obviously, get the ball in the air, but if you hit balls hard, you got a chance to get on base.
All right, well, now we can transition over to a little story time with Uncle Pete. Obviously, the past few days have been a little hectic with the storm. I'm curious, how are you handling the snow for starters? And what have you and your son done with the snow days?
Well, the first day we got up and we went sledding. No videos of that, I don't think. My wife might have some on her phone, but we went down the hill in our yard, and it's kind of slow.
Mm.
We weren't going so fast. And then my son took a nap, and we went out that night, and there was a little bit of ice on the ground, and we flew. We were going fast. Thankfully, Mama didn't see that because my son was just flying down the hill, and he was having fun and no wipeouts. And to be honest with you, I was kind of my heart was pumping when he went down there and he's going 50 miles an hour down the hill, but he was fine. Um, haven't gone out the last couple of days. It's too fast. I don't need him running into a tree or anything. But yeah, I got the golf simulator. I've been hitting balls down the basement. My son is starting to like really hit balls and have fun with golf, and we were hitting off the tee yesterday. So um, we have been able to practice on Monday and Tuesday, and typically our practice times are 2:30 to 5 when school was in, but we went a little bit earlier the last 2 days because school was canceled. And get our work in, and I go home and I get more work in.
There you go. Well, I'm curious if you could take us back in time a little bit to what snow days were like for you as a kid up in Maryland.
Oh man, they were fun. They were fun. I just remember staying outside all day, and you're frozen, and you go out and take the gloves, go out, have fun, and you come in and take your gloves off, and you can't feel your hands, and your hands are stinging, and you put your hand underneath warm water, and it stings. And um, yeah, just a lot of fun building forts. And we just got into I think the big slingshots were big when I was a kid. So you'd have ice balls and coming at you at 100 miles an hour, but you built your fort, so hopefully that withstood the ice ball. But they were fun. We went out in the neighborhood, and you played for hours, and then you came back in, and hopefully you could do it again. So I wasn't big. We'd make tunnels in the forts and get a little claustrophobic, but you just keep pushing through.
Have you determined, what the best sledding hill around Blacksburg is?
I don't know. I think the one by the rec field is probably pretty good. Um, yeah, that would probably be a good one. I'm sure at Blacksburg Country Club there's a few, probably on par three, hole seven. You probably get some speed on that one. So
Okay.
I don't know if I'm kind of a daredevil. If you've heard these before, I love my roller coasters. I also love safety, and I love not waking up with my back being sore. So when I woke up after I guess it was Sunday after I cleared the driveway and did sledding, I don't think I could move for the first 25 minutes I got out of bed. My back was just sore, but uh, once I got moving, I was all right.
Well, all right. And then I got a quick little start bench cut for you. Three bands that you might know or singers. Eddie Money, the Doobie Brothers, and then REO Speedwagon.
Okay. So what's the question?
So start bench cut. So you basically just put them like one, two, three. So who would you start? Who would you bench? Who would you get rid of?
Uh, I would start Eddie, bench the Doobie Brothers, and REO Speedwagon. I'm not. Eh.
Really? No, no love for our. I actually, so I've seen REO Speedwagon in concert. That's why I
Yeah.
threw them in. So continuing, favorite concert ever? Do you have a dream concert? Would it be Eddie Money? I've seen a couple tweets of him from you.
Yeah, I've seen Eddie. I saw him, RIP, saw him in, I think, 15. Um, Favorite concerts. I've seen George Strait 3 times. Um, I, the one right now, and people laugh when I say this, the best concert to go to is Marty Stewart and his band. He's just unbelievably good. Dwight Yoakam, I've seen AC/DC, Skinner, um, Alan Jackson. Dwight Yoakam is really good. The loudest one I went to was the Black Crowes. My ears rang for 3 or 4 days. Um, yeah, last one. I saw Merle Haggard right before he passed away in, I think, 15 or 16. I went by myself in a small theater in Columbia, Missouri. Paid $75, and it was awesome. He was really good. So I
It
don't
seems
know what my favorite
really,
was.
seems like you've really gone to a lot of concerts in your life.
Yeah, I used to a lot. Um, Not so much anymore. But there was a good band in Blacksburg in 19. I saw the Allman Betts Band, which are the sons of the Allman Brothers, and they were at the Lyric, and it was awesome. And it was like, what are these guys doing here? And there was a guitarist from England named Joanne Shaw Taylor, I believe. And she opened up. I'd never heard of her before, but she's like a Grammy winner. She got up there and just like shredded the guitar, and I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome. So to have that in Blacksburg was a pretty cool thing.
Well, all right, Coach. Thank you so much for your time today. It was great to talk to you. Another edition of the Virginia Tech Softball Podcast with Pete Demore. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.